Hello, I'm Leslie from leslielendon.com. Today I'd like to share with you a triple pop-up cube card. Now these cards have been really popular recently all over social media. I made one using the Botanicals medley and I'd like to share that with you now. It looks rather complicated, but it's actually very simple. This I've made in the new magenta cardstock, but the papers themselves are from the botanical medley, and if you're really quick there may still be some of this left on the clearance on retirement list, but of course you can use any card that you'd like to use. I will still be using some of the botanical paper today because I think it's really lovely. I have my measurements all here and I'm going to be turning down the camera so that you can follow me. I will, once the video has been recorded, put them up in imperial measurements in inches as well so that you can follow whether you're using metric or imperial. I'm going to turn the camera down now and then try to line you up so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Excuse me, that's better, I think. Okay, just hoping it's not all back to front for you. I'll try to keep that in the middle of my screen. How does that sound? Okay, so the colours I'm using today are Granny Apple Green for the base and Cajun Craze for my layers. And then I'm using this sheet from the Botanicals for my DSP layers, both sides. It's reversible. Okay, so first of all we need to cut our base card at 20 by 22 centimetres. So I'll cut this off at 22 on our paper trimmer. Now let me just tell you that quite a few people have been putting instructions for this card online. I originally saw this by a lady called Yvonne Schwendeman, but I don't think she has a video. So I then followed a video by my lovely friend Rebecca Wilmore at Catnip Crafting. She did a beautiful job on this video, but I'm preparing this for my ladies, and you of course are welcome to follow. So here's my base card. It's now 20 centimetres by 22. I'm going to turn that into landscape mode. You can probably see there it comes to the 22 centimetres, and I'm going to score it at 5, 10, 15 and 20 centimetres. That's 5 and 10 and 15. And the last one is at 20, which gives us a little flap at the end to glue. Now I'm going to turn this round into portrait mode, and I'm going to cut off a 5 centimetre strip, another 5 centimetre strip, which leaves me with 2 pieces at 5 centimetres and 1 piece at 10 centimetres. We don't need the trimmer now for a little while. I prepared all my layers earlier because I didn't think you'd want to sit watching me cut up squares of card. So these are going to be my base pieces, onto which I'm going to mount some Cajun Craze card. These are cut to, there are 6 pieces and they are cut to 4.5 centimetres, 4.5 centimetres each. As you can see there are 6 of those. And I've got 6 pieces of DSP, that lovely orangey colour which will look nice on top of the Cajun Craze. And they are 4 centimetres squared. They are going to be the mounted layers which I'll glue together shortly. In addition to that, I need 6 squares to put in areas such as inside the cubes here, and inside the top layer. I hope you can see that clearly. These don't need to be mounted, so these are straightforward 4.5 centimetres. So just to recap on that, I have 6 pieces at 4.5 centimetres, 6 patterned pieces which coordinate in 4 centimetre squares, and 6 pieces of mount card at 4.5 centimetres, but I will put all these measurements on the screen. I'm going to put those to one side. I've also managed to prepare 2 sentiments on labels and punch them out. And when I do adhere those onto the box, I will need some little hinges, but I'll show you those in a moment. So now what I need to do is to fold all the creases on this card. And true to form, I've forgotten to bring my bone folder in here with me. But that really doesn't matter. It will be fine, she says, winging it. So I'm folding it both ways, which makes the card a little more flexible, and that will work how I want it to work. Now don't forget, if you can use your bone folder, this will make the creases much sharper than mine. But don't worry if you don't have one, or if you can't manage to find it. I can find mine, but it's in another room. You can see I'm not being too careful with mine. So there we have our pieces. I'm going to glue together my larger piece first. On the thin strip at the end here is where I'm going to put my glue. If it decides it's going to come out of the pot, yeah. Now I like Tombow for this because it has a little bit of wiggle room before it dries. Okay, so if I fold that like that, my measurement is true, I should be able to just fold this over and it should meet perfectly. And I'll just hold that for a second or so. Okay, so that will be my large cube that stands at the back here. Okay, set that aside. Now in Rebecca's brilliant video, she gets all her boxes glued together first and mounts all the little inside pieces afterwards. And I was trying to do this a slightly different way and make it a little bit easier for myself. I don't know if I did make it easier or not. So you can either get your mounted pieces on first, or you can do them afterwards. For me, I'm going to get them on first. So just bear with me. I'm working with this tab, the narrow tab, towards myself. When this cube is folded up, this part is going to be stuck to the back of the box. You do not need any pattern on there. However, this piece and this piece are going to be visible. So we need to put our mounted card onto those 2 pieces. So let's unfold that again. That's going to be stuck to the back of my box, and these 2 centre pieces are the ones that are going to be visible. So we're going to take our mounted card and our pattern paper and glue these pieces together. Now, hopefully this won't be too boring for you sitting watching me do this. And I am granted a little artistic license if it's slightly skew-whiff, since you're all watching me, and that's never nice to be watched, is it, when you're doing something? I'm going to be covered in glue because I'm sticking my fingers in it all, but never mind. That's the second one. And this. If you prefer to use tape, you can, of course, but that doesn't allow for you to have any movement when you're sticking things together. whereas with the glue, with the Tombow, I can slide it slightly. Do be aware that if you're using a patterned paper that has a directional pattern, for instance, it has an umbrella on it and the umbrella needs to go upwards, you want to be sure to cut your paper in the right direction. For this is fruit and leaves. Fruit and leaves hang in both directions, so this is really not too important on here. So just 2 more pieces to go. Let's get these together. And just the last one now. Just to recap there, the pieces I'm sticking together are the 4cm patterned paper squares onto the 4.5cm pieces of cardstock. And there we have it. Okay, so now we just need to get these glued into place. Recapping again, this piece is going to be stuck to this piece and is going to be glued to the large shape here, which is the back of the card. So we're going to glue a piece on here and a piece on here. I should say a piece of decorative paper and mounted card. And I'm hoping that my fingers are not in your way so that you can, oops, let's squidge that across a little, shall we? Push that across it. It's not going, I've got that glued down. I wasn't really sure when I put these colours together whether I was going to like them or not, but I've decided that I do. And that one is slightly out, so I need to make sure that this one matches. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with this piece. When you've made a couple of these, you really will find that they're pretty easy. You just need to get your head around which bits go where. Okay, so when these fold up in a moment, that side will be glued to your base and these pieces will be on show. Okay, I'm going to set these two to one side because they're going on our large base in a moment. I'd quite like to get the inside bits put together too before we actually add the cubes to the box. Now this can be a little bit tricky if you do it after you've got everything stuck together because you're trying to get your fingers in here. Doesn't mean to say that you don't get glue everywhere when you do it this way either. So when this is together and that's on the back of the box, you are going to have a piece here and a piece here of decorative paper here and here because you'll be able to see them from the outside. So let's turn that back round again. So that's a piece here and a piece here, which are the opposite cubes. They're on the reverse side of this, but they're on the opposite cubes. So hopefully, the opposite sort of squares, hopefully you can remember that when you turn your paper over. So let's just get these on. What I want to do is this is going to glue on here, and we are going to have a paper under here, but obviously if I stick it here, part of it is going to be hidden behind this flap. So what I decided to do was put some glue on here and line that up. Okay, and then put some glue like that. Can you see that? Across the small flap there and on the back of the DSP. when we marry those together and meet up the edges, hopefully, I say hopefully, you can see that's the piece we just glued together with the little flap inside. Can you see that? So let's do that again on the other piece, because I may not have been very clear. So we're going to turn this over and we're going to glue a piece here, and the other piece, which really needs to go there, is going to be on here, and then we fold it all up. Let me just show you, like so, and that will glue on the back of there. So I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear enough. Let's just do it in practice so that you can see. So now I'm going to put glue on this piece. Okay, I'm going to fold that over. So that's glue now is on the flap and on the back of the pattern paper there. I'm going to fold that and fold that one on top. I really do find this is the easiest way. It's a bit fiddly, it's the easiest way to get this together. So when you look from the outside, this is the bit we just glued together. You've got a piece inside there, a piece inside there, a piece outside here, and a piece outside here. Okay. Now we're going to glue the bits together. So here is the large piece we glued earlier, large piece of base card. We're going to put the fold down. Can you see where we glued it together? I'm going to lay that flat. This cube is in a moment going to glue on here. Now we're going to assemble our card. I'm going to place this flat with the piece of card where I glued it before, where the tab is inside. I'm going to lay that flat down. Okay, this is the front it's going to poke out on our card. I'm just going to fold this. Okay, just get that the right way up. Okay, I've got the plain outside and plain outside there. I'm going to fold that like that, and I'm going to glue this piece to here like so. Okay, so I'm going to take this cube with the pattern in paper inside, fold it flat, and I'm going to glue this piece onto here. So this is still loose. Okay. Line it up with the bottom with the fold. So it all lines up nicely. And this piece will go on here. This piece will go on here. As you can see, these we need to add piece here and here of the patterns. That just leaves us with 2 pieces to add now. Oops, that's one of them. Which is here. This goes in here. Last piece. And this piece is going to go in here, just in here. And there you have the whole of the base card finished. Now, how do we add the labels? These are done with little hinges. Brilliant little tip from Rebecca there. Using a 3/4 inch punch, I punched out circles. You'll need 2 circles for each label that you have. You're going to fold them in half, and these are going to be like little hinges. So fold them in half. That's 1 and 2. If you don't want to do this, you could, of course, put sentiment across the cube here, which is what Lavon did, and it looked really nice. I have some sentiments punched out here. So I'm going to pop that on here. I can't believe that I didn't actually bring my toolbox in here. Pop that roughly to one side of the centre. And I'm going to put another one to meet it. Wee gap, whoops, wee gap in the bottom there. Okay. Like little wings on the back. And I'm going to affix that onto here. So if I put glue on the back of here, they will sit either side. So I'm going to flatten that down again. I'm going to glue the backs of the circles, or semicircles as they are now. I'm going to fold that down and hold it in place. Hopefully that's straight. And there you have your sentiment. I can't see if that's straight, but I'm hoping that it is. Let me have a look. Yeah, that's straight. To finish it off, I'm going to put another sentiment down in here. Now, how do you write on the back of this card when you want to give it to someone? Well, of course, you can do another label similar to this, match them all up nicely, write on it and put it on the back here on hinges. Or you could just put a panel of white card here and write your message. I'll leave that to decide later. I haven't decided which way I'm going to do that. But I will get the last part of my sentiment on. The top part says, may your birthday be memorable. And the last bit I'm adding is going to say, rest and relax, you deserve it. So let's get this on just like we did before. Oops. That's really helpful, isn't it, when you just drop one onto the floor. So let's get that onto here, roughly centre, very roughly. I think I've got a bit glue on the back of that one. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? I've got more on me than I've got on the label. Okay, fold them back. Okay, and this is going to go in here, which is not the easiest place to stick it. So I am going to do it like so. Get my fingers inside and hopefully that will, just need to jiggle with this one. Oops, daisy. This is a little bit fiddly, that one. That's better. There you go. I think that's straight now. Let me just turn that round for you so that you can see that. I think that's fine. So there you have it. That's your triple pop-up cube card. The only fiddly bit is the labels. I hope that you enjoyed doing that. Yeah, I'll get this video out for you hopefully soon. Take care. Bye. So there you have it, triple pop-up cube card. Both of them you've just seen. And what do you think of this? Little mini, just 2 centimetre squares each cube. Look really cute when set alongside the large one. Hope you've enjoyed that and give it a go. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.